Hello, everybody. What happened roughly a week ago was awful. It was a tragedy that affected the lives of a decent amount of people involved and a lot of people who were outside of it, me included. Listening to the stories, listening to the stuff that happened during that time was awfully heartbreaking to hear. But the thing that I continually hear on the news stations and whatnot is what continually happens during this particular time when a tragedy happens, and that the perpetrator of the incident, which I will not name because this video is not about him, or what we can do to solve it. We can do a bunch of things to solve it, and maybe a couple of them will do it, but the lives that were lost will still be lost. And the thing of it is that there's going to be horrible people out there no matter what the fuck you do. And that's the truth. Unfortunately, I wish I could live in a world where everybody loved each other, there was no bigotry, no racism, and it was just everybody hugging each other or high-fiving and all this shit. I would much prefer a world like that, but unfortunately that isn't going to be the case because there's going to be people out there who are just awful. And so while any of the actions that are taking place, that would prevent this particular event from not happening as much, may change something, the bad people in this world are still going to exist. Which is why I don't want to focus on an agenda that may change this. In fact, I want to focus on something quite differently. This video is titled The Light in Tragedy. Because there is a light in this tragedy. Despite the amount of darkness that I'm sure people felt, I'm sure the amount of hatred and spite that people felt during this, there's this light, there's this hope, there's this thing that I saw that was honestly needs to be said more. Because people may lose their faith in humanity due to these horrible people, yet what I saw during this event that was just horrible, I saw a bunch of people, and I mean a plethora of people who went above and beyond to, be just magnificent and wonderful human beings. Like those who, after the tragedy happened, lined up row after row after row after fucking row to donate their blood so that the people who suffered, who were, in critical condition, could survive to live another day after the tragic events that took place. That is absolutely fantastic, amazing, and this type of thing happened around the world. People got up and decided that they wanted to donate blood because of this, because they wanted to do something to help, and it's just very remarkable that so many people are willing to donate a part of themselves so that they can help the people who have suffered in the wake of this tragedy. And just hands off to those people who stood in lines through the hot days that are just, quite frankly, wonderful, amazing individuals that probably did indeed save a bunch of people because of the amount of blood that was inevitably donated because of these people who just decided that they wanted to do something to help these people. Hats off to you guys. And then there are the people from around the fucking world, and I mean around the fucking world, who donated to this GoFundMe page to not only break a damn record, break a record for the amount of donations that were sent to people by a multitude of others. They donated over $5,500,000 to the victims of this tragedy. And they broke a GoFundMe record. That's just amazing. It's just fantastic that so many people piled up together and felt that they needed to do something, whether or not they couldn't do blood or they weren't in Orlando to help the people over there. They donated their hard-earned cash to help this case. And I mean, I can see on this GoFundMe page that I'm on, an anonymous individual donated $1,000 fucking dollars. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous in the most awesome way possible. how something like this could happen, you know, and I'm glad that something like this is had so many community donations and something like this, because the people who suffered through this definitely deserve, you know, something like this to happen. You know, to again, my hat's off to you. You know, my invisible hat is off to you, because that is just fucking mind-boggling that people are that considerate or that caring or that filled with compassion, that all of these people compiled up to raise that much money. You know, again, my hat's off to you. And even the smallest things, you know, can lead to just outlandishly big results. You know, my friend, and that you may all know, Atticus the Death Meddler, has a brother who was there who, with a bunch of his friends, gathered $600 of supplies that were issued to, you know, Orlando to police departments, fire stations, and the medical center, you know, just so that they can have something. You know, these group of friends, you know, did things that even is somewhat hard to come by some companies. That is absolutely wonderful. You know, that people are so generous, so caring that they were to do this. And for my friend Atticus's brother to, you know, help do this particular thing, you know, as I've been saying this entire video, hats off to all of you. You know, it is just overwhelming, I think, and to know that there's a bunch of just fantastic individuals out there that deserve so much praise. A's for the amount of love, the amount of care, the amount of compassion that is involved in a time that one would think that only a despair, sadness, is and anger can happen. Yet look at all this. Look at all this. These things that are happening right now. With these people who donate their money, donate their blood, doing every little thing that they can to support and help the ones that truly need it. You know, whether it be the families that lost their loved ones, whether it be the ones who still need help because of their critical condition, and or the people who are out there, you know, in the heat who need supplies, and there's people who give them that too, you know, or just the plethora of people that are just out there being just wonderful, fantastic individuals, you know, and those are the people, folks. Those are the people that I believe deserve, you know, deserve the attention, deserve the praise, deserve all of this stuff, because that, you know, is what I like to see more so in humanity, and I do see it. Because there's more people like that out there, I believe, than there are horrible people out there who are willing to commit acts of violence for nonsense. You know, and I was shown that by the multitude of people who did just that. The niceness, the kindness, the compassion in Orlando, in various other places in the world. You know, and that's the message I pretty much want to send in this video. That despite the darkness that this tragedy brought down on this world, there's an ever so burning light that shined at the end of this tragedy.